Good afternoon, friends. Got a question for you. Do you ever find yourself doubting yourself? I mean, you have to be honest with yourself, first of all, to even consider what I'm saying here. And what I mean by that is this. When the blood moons was going on in 2014 and 2015, we all knew beyond any shadow of a doubt that Jesus was going to come back any minute. Well, 2014 came and went. 2015 came and went. Then we had 2016, then 2017, then 2018, 2019, and here we are almost about to enter into the year 2020. Now, every one of those years we felt and came up with ideas and came up with thoughts as to why we believed Jesus was going to rapture the church each of those years. And now, as we approach the year 2020, there is reasons to think that look like 2020 could be the year. I mean, you know, no wonder scoffers and mockers give us such a hard time. But do you ever look back over the last 5 to 10 years where we have been saying Jesus is about to rapture the church, and we're still on this earth, and you find yourself not doubting the rapture, but doubting yourself? You know, I tell myself all the time, if I really believed that the rapture was about to happen, I believe I would do something different. If I really believed that the rapture was about to happen in a couple of months, I'd probably get out on housetops and preach from one housetop to the next that Jesus is coming, Jesus is coming. You'd probably see me stand inside the interstate with a big billboard sign strapped to me. Jesus is about to return. The rapture's about to happen. But that was if I really believed that. But because I really don't believe that, I go to work every day. We do what we have to do every day. You know, so many people want to get on to Peter. And so many people want to put down doubting Thomas. Friends, let me tell you something. You and I, we are like Peters and we're like doubting Thomases. You know, those 12 disciples stood there when Jesus entered the room, and they were saying, "Oh, here's Jesus, here's Jesus." And he said, "Unless I can put my finger where he was hurt and cut, I won't believe." Well, he was just being natural. I mean, the man saw him die. But everybody wants to criticize old Doubting Thomas. Who's to say those other disciples who saw the Lord, wasn't thinking the same thing? They just didn't voice it. What about Peter? They were all scared. Peter was the only one that said, Lord, if that's really you out there walking on the water, let me come. Jesus said, come on, Peter. Peter was the only one that jumped out of the boat. Why didn't the other ones jump out of the boat? Because they were scared. They stayed in the safe confines of the boat. Only Peter was crazy enough to jump out in the water. But we all want to put down Peter. And he's the only one that had the gumption and the guts, so to speak, to jump out in the water. And I'll tell you something else. Every one of us that are really looking forward to Jesus coming back, we're getting tired, we're disheartened, and we're ready to go home. We're ready to go home. I find myself praying, Lord, I want to do more. I can't do more, but I want to do more. I get very disheartened because I want to do more. Everybody wants to feel needed. That's a very motivating power in each person's life, is to feel the power to be needed. When a person no longer feels that they're needed, it's a bad thing. When you have children and you're a parent, your children are always calling on you, Mom and Daddy, Mom and Daddy. Boy, they need Mom and Daddy. And a minister has people. And he hopes that the people that he ministers to need him. Well, I'm just going to be honest with you. My children are gone. And I just don't feel needed anymore. I'm just being honest. I'm trying to find, as many of us have, after our children are gone and married off and we get in our latter years of our life, those of you who are young, in your 20s, 30s, and maybe 40s, are not and have not experienced what us who are in close to our 60s and 70s and 80s. It's a major, major, major adjustment in our lives. You know, here I am for the first time with no children in my house. I could sell my house and move anywhere in the world if I wanted to. I've always desired to have a ministry that did major work for God. That's what I've always wanted. And that's what I hoped would develop out of my YouTube channel. And of course, that has not happened. For every time, there's a season. I've been praying to God, Lord, if you're going to use me in these last days, please use me. Use me in a mighty way. I just don't feel like I'm being used. I know my videos help people from time to time. But since I was a child and got saved, I always asked the Lord, Lord, use me. Just don't send me, don't send me to China or Russia. I didn't want to go there. But I think we all find ourselves in a dilemma. My kitty cat needs me. Let's see here. Come here, kitty cat. Maybe he'll jump up here. Come here, kitty. Anyway. You want to get up here? You want to get up here? She's standing up here. Let me pet her. Well, all things work together for the good to them who love the Lord, to those who are called according to His purpose. All things work together for the good of them who love the Lord, to those who are called according to His purpose. And I have to tell myself that so much when I have these great desires to do great and mighty things for God, and I find myself every morning getting up, having to go to work. And it's just like, it's all in God's hands. Our lives are all in God's hands. And when we realize that, it helps us keep our feet and our mind planted. You got to stay in God's Word. Yep, you got to stay in God's Word. You just got to take one day at a time. I'm sure the Lord appreciates us wanting to do great and mighty things for Him, but He's molding us into the person He wants us to be. Every day, we're molded and transformed into the person He wants us to be. Well, we just take one day at a time. That's a strange looking little thing. Huh. Pray for me. I can tell you to do that. Pray that God gives me peace of heart. Rarely do I ever ask y'all to pray for me, but I could use some prayer. Really could. God bless each one of y'all.